Hi. So, unfortunately, I had to go to another goddamn horseshit training today, and it pretty much almost completely just sucked my soul right out of my body and killed me because of how fucking dumb it ended up being. And we were given this packet right from the get-go, and immediately I looked through it, knowing full well I would find some trans-trender horseshit, and sure enough, I did. And I was hoping and praying, honestly, I was fucking praying to God that we wouldn't get to this point, because sometimes there's not enough time and you just don't get to every exercise, and tough. But of course we had enough time. So this was the prompt that I fucking shook up the whole room for, and rightfully so. Tensions are high as colleague Jim reveals in your team meeting that she is a male transitioning to female and would now like to be referred to as Jasmine. Jasmine shares that she does not feel comfortable in using the men's restroom anymore. A female colleague, Marilyn, deeply objects to Jasmine using the women's restroom as it makes her feel unsafe. Another colleague chimes in and expresses how he cannot work with Jasmine due to his own religious beliefs. The meeting ends with the issue not being resolved. Jasmine is deeply angry and depressed and starts calling in sick frequently. And then this is in bold for some reason. How might you strategize with Jasmine as either a colleague or as a supervisor? What are, they wrote her, but I crossed it out and wrote his. What are his strengths? Obviously. So we got to this question, and I was so nervous because he was having part of the room do one prompt, and the other part of the room do another prompt, and I was like, Jesus Christ, Lord Almighty, give me strength. And I was just like, fuck. And actually, I met a really cool human being who is also against transtrender right before that. So we had a little look there that was like, this shit right before that. But so this was read, and I was like, immediately, I am Marilyn. I am not okay with a man being in the restroom, and everyone lost their shit. Mostly the Liberlols, obviously, because this fucking city is goddamn full of them. It's a fucking health crisis. It is. It is a health crisis. You know, when you're funding mentally ill people's diseases by cutting off their breasts and inverting their dicks, like that actually, yeah, in fact, is a public health issue. But so I said that, and a lot of people were like, no, transtrender is cool. And he was the instructor. What the fuck did he say to me? Oh, okay. Well, first of all, everyone immediately jumped to the conclusion that I thought Jasmine would assault me. I literally never said that. I never said that. They just fucking jumped to that conclusion. I said I would be uncomfortable. I would not be okay with a man, because Jasmine is a man, being in the bathroom. And I also said you cannot change your biological sex. It's not fucking possible. And I also said that Jasmine could later. I think I said that Jasmine could assault someone. And of course that one dipshit Liberlol, I'm sorry, I use really insulting terms for these people, but honestly, they're very pathetic and sad. And any woman who is gonna defend a fucking tranny man pretending to be a woman over her fellow woman is damaged. Hun, you're damaged. You have problems, and you are not seeing the glaring misogyny and sexism in your own life, and you're putting on blinders to this transtrender shit that is hurting people, including you. It could be you. You could be next to be assaulted in a bathroom because you're too goddamn fucking stupid to take off your goddamn blinders and unplug your goddamn ears and wake the fuck up and see that this shit is misogyny. Anyway, yeah, the Liberlol women were like all jumping to this fictional fucking character's defense. And saying like, oh well, and that was not cool. Oh, when I said the sexual assault thing, of course, one woman was like, that never happens. I was like, actually, there's a list online that says that does happen. And as far as I'm concerned, one time is too many. Fucking duh. I am just disgusted with how lobotomized these fucking Liberlols are. This is a goddamn fucking cult, and it is disgusting, and it needs to stop. And I just can't get over how fucking stupid this is. I can't get over the fact that I have to explain to grown human beings, to grown neurotypical adults, what a man is and what a woman is. This is where neoliberalism has gotten us. This is where we are. Thanks to that horseshit. Oh, and in the same talk, this guy said, we advocate to end oppression. Fuck you. No, you don't. This one dumbass liberal, okay, earlier in the class, before we ever got to this horrible prompt, we watched this video about assumptions that people make. And, like, I noticed there's a lot of fucking videos in these stupid-ass trainings. There's, like, a lot of, like, BuzzFeed. There's a lot of, like, YouTube. And, hey, I love YouTube. I'm all up in YouTube. But, like, if you're showing a fucking corporate-funded, corporately funded video, what does that tell you? And also, I'm just going to draw it for you. I've seen a lot of videos because I can't explain it. It's too complicated. I've seen a lot of videos where the shot that they have does not make sense. And they are most likely on a green screen. So the shot that they have would actually, they're made to look up like they're just sitting in front of their computer, sitting in front of their camera in their house. But a lot of the shots we're working with would actually look like this because they are fake. So this is what it would look like were it actually real. So the person is sitting in their chair, and here's their camera or computer, whatever the fuck, their desk. But this is how their shot is. It doesn't make sense. The shot doesn't make sense, so that would mean that their fucking couch, it's because they're in front of a green screen and their shit is corporately funded and they're saying all the shit that they want people to say and it's just like so dumb. So like this is what it would actually look like, in real life. Does your house look like this? Do you live in a house like this? Yeah, I didn't think so. Anyway, so earlier in the class, the training, we watched this video of assumptions that people make. And they had two people sit in chairs, not facing each other and not seeing each other. And then they had them talk to each other. And they just talked to each other and they were like, hey, asked them basic questions about each other. And then they actually made assumptions about the person that they were sitting behind, that was sitting behind them. And they were like, oh, I think you're in your 30s. I think you're this race, like da-da-da. And so this one fucking little Liberlol dude who later offended me, we're going to get to that. He didn't offend me. He just said something really fucking stupid and Liberlol and uneducated, which is offensive. But so we were talking about like the assumptions that these people made. And someone was like, oh, well, like, she assumed this and blah, blah, blah. And then this neoliberal dude, #dude, was like, I was kind of surprised that, they assumed each other's genders. Okay, now that is a phrase that the trans cult has conditioned people to say. That is a phrase that doesn't make any goddamn sense, because unless you're talking to probably a prepubescent child or maybe like an infant, you can fucking goddamn tell, maybe unless you're hearing impaired. Unless you're hearing impaired. If you're hearing, you can tell whether or not someone is a man or a woman. But this is the point we're at, where this guy feels compelled to say this trans cult bullshit to assert the fact that he is cool. He was like, I was surprised that they assumed their genders. Shut the fuck up. Are you kidding me? No, you are not surprised. You're just doing the TRANSTRENDER dance to show us all that you're a TRANSTRENDER, and fuck you. Later, he said, when we were talking about the bathroom thing, he was like, so you identify as a woman. And I said, I don't identify as a woman. I am a woman. Fucking duh. Fucking duh. Fucking duh. You know what I should have said? I should have said, fuck you, I'm a woman. Because how dare you say, so you identify as a woman? How dare you? Obviously, I identify as a woman, dumb shit, because that's my reality. I can't, I wanted to say a lot of the time during this training, do you people hear yourself when you talk? Do you? Do you hear what you're saying? Because it's fucking nonsense. Truly. Okay, going back to, hold on, now I have to get back to it, actually, one sec. Going back to this. A woman asked if this was real. She was like, did this actually happen? And the instructor said, well, statements like this have been made. I don't care. I don't care. And he was like, well, put yourself in her shoes. And I was like, and I thought of that, and I actually thought to write my own prompt, and maybe y'all can put yourselves in this person's shoes. Frank is a paranoid schizophrenic. While he's normally on top of his medication and therapy and treatments, he's fallen out of sync recently and is now convinced that in order to save the world, he needs to single-handedly infiltrate the government by missing enough work to get fired and attacking the president with a pool noodle. How should we strategize with Frank? I ain't fucking strategizing with Frank. Frank needs mental health help that he is not getting. And I am not a mental health help professional. So he should not even fucking talk to me, because I don't know what to say to that person. I do actually know what to say to this person, and that is that you're a man, and you're acting out your autogynephilia. And save that for the bedroom, buddy, because you're not fucking coming in my bathroom. You're not setting foot in there, and me being okay with it. You pervert. Okay. Oh. Okay. This is like probably the most serious thing in this whole video. No, well, it's multiple things. This is a serious part of this video. Someone said, and this just really grinds my gears whenever I hear this, because it is so uneducated, it is so unfair, and it is so fucked up that we're at this point now that people are saying this bullshit and other people are going around along with it. Someone said, this is just like segregation with the race, with black people and white people, and them not being able to use the same bathrooms. I said, I wouldn't conflate those two things. And the instructor, I think he didn't hear me, because I said I wouldn't conflate those two things, but the way he responded was, well, this did really happen. He was saying it like to me. There were other people chattering at this point too, because that's just what I do. But he was saying to me, he was like, well, people were lynched for this. That really happened. And I was like, I know that really happened. And how dare you? How dare you or anyone compare the transgender movement, I should have said transtrender, because that would have gotten everyone real fired up. How dare you conflate the transtrender movement with the racist movement, with the racism in this country, because it's not the same fucking thing. There are roughly estimated 1% of the population that identifies as trans. That is the same percent of the population with the last name of Johnson. Okay? And there are much more people in this country that are women, that are disabled. Okay? That are women and disabled. Way more than any amount of transtrenders. Way more. I take priority of those women. Women of color who are disabled. Don't you dare ever compare the transtrender, we just need to pee horse shit with the racism that this country is built upon. You fucking racist. You're comparing paper cuts to fucking massacres. If you do that, you're a piece of shit and I don't respect you. Because you don't respect people of color. Okay, so that was just some real bullshit. Let's see if I have anything else to say about this, because I think that is about it. Oh, God. But after I said that, I didn't quite get so heated, but I did say that only 1% of the country estimated is trans. And that 1% is really outnumbered by the amount of women like me in this country. And this one fucking Liberlol dude up front was like, well, that's just estimated. We don't even know how many trans people there really are. Oh, okay. Let's just disregard the fact that women struggle. Let's just disregard that. Let's just disregard it all the time. Let's forget about women. Let's talk about transtrenders instead. There was one prompt on this that had a woman in it, but it was like an afterthought because it was the last one and we were all tired. I am so sick of this shit, and it needs to stop, and Liberlols need to stop liberlolling, and what was cool was this one gal who I didn't know talked to this gal that I did know, and she told the gal I knew to thank me for saying that because she felt the same way, but she wasn't able to say it. And that always touches me. And y'all, I am here for you because I'm going to advocate for women until the day I die. So you're welcome. And you're welcome, you dumb Liberlol bitches. This is me from the past saying you're fucking welcome, bitch. You're welcome for me putting up with your shit. You're welcome for having the rights that you have now because I said no to transtrender. Okay? You're welcome. And I'm sorry that you didn't get there sooner.